Alright guys, welcome back. We're going to make this quick little intro here. I'm going to be turning a few sets of measuring cups and measuring spoons. I'm going to be using two different types of wood here today. This is Padauk. It's got a real nice orangish red tone to it when it's finished. And then another one of my favorites, Purple Heart. This stuff is extremely hard, but man is it pretty when it's all polished up. So, we're going to go ahead, head over to the drill press, and punch the holes in it so we can get these little brass tubes glued in, and then we'll be over at the lathe. So I'll see y'all in a bit. Alright, we're over here at the drill press. Just wanted to mention a few things. Unlike some of the other stuff, these do have a particular drill bit that you have to use. It calls for a 7mm drill bit, and you have to drill the entire way through the blank. So that's the only thing different about these. Other than that, it's basically the same. I do recommend that you have one of these self-centering drill press jigs, so that way you can have a perfectly straight hole the entire way through, and that really helps take the guesswork out of everything, because there's nothing worse than drilling a hole in a blank and having it not be perfectly center, and then having to drill another blank and just waste one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting my jig set up and then start drilling, and it'll probably be in a time lapse, and then I'll see you at the lathe. Alright, so this is going to be a quick little reminder here. As I said before, Purple Heart is a really hard and dense wood. You may have saw on that time lapse I had to keep cleaning the chips out a whole lot because this blank split on me. Purple Heart is so dense and hard, and it has some type of natural oil to it that it doesn't like to clear off the bit. It likes to stick to it almost like some type of glue. So just remember, go slow when you drill these Purple Heart blanks, or else they can split on you. Alright, I'm not going to show you this for all of them because it's pretty straightforward. I'm sure you can tell what I'm about to do if you're used to pen turning and mandrel turning in general. This is just par for the course. I got some medium CA glue, and I put that on the brass barrel, and I like to twist it as I push it in, and when it gets tight, I just use the edge of my table and seat the blank and call that good. So I'll set that to the side, and then I'll do the same thing with these. And you don't have to use a lot. A little bit of this CA glue goes a long way. But if you're like me, the more the merrier. As long as you don't glue your hand to the table, you still don't have enough on it. And ask me how I know that. I've had a few blanks come apart on me, but that's because I was trying to glue a blank that had a few splits to the barrel itself and hope that the barrel would hold it from coming apart on the lathe, and it doesn't. So like you saw with those there, I'm going to do that for the rest of them, and then I'm going to square the ends of the blanks, and we'll catch back over there at the lathe and start turning. Alright guys, we're over here at the lathe now. I've got one of the Padauk blanks mounted up. I got it all squared and everything trued up. So the only thing we got to do now is go ahead and turn it. And as you can see, right here, the bushings are two different sizes. They aren't much different, but just try to keep track of which end is which. So This right here is the end of it, and this right here is the head of it. And that's going to be the way I try to turn all of them. So that way I can put them down in a box and then assemble them later and keep track of it. So we're going to start off, make sure nothing hits, flip the lathe on, get our rough and gouge, and get it rough round. Alright, that's rough round there. And with this, I'm not going to do anything crazy with it. I'm just going to bring this side down to meet the bushing and this side down to meet the bushing and have a little swell right here in the middle. It's going to be a quick, simple little handle. And yes, I know I'm using a rough and gouge for more detail work, but it works. And it works pretty well at it too. Alright, and that's our handle rough round. And for those of you wondering, this is a 1-inch rough and gouge, and I have a 1/2-inch spindle gouge that I'm using. Really, for this type of work, that's the only two tools that I ever use. So now we're going to get our drill and get our sanding situation going on. Start off with 180. Take tool rest off without bumping into anything. You should really cut the lathe off for this, but oh well. Alright, we're just going to hit it like I do all the other stuff. So make sure that's smooth. Yep. That's got all the turning marks out of it. And you're going to have to excuse the fan noise because I need something. I can't be breathing all this dust. I know a fan is not perfect, and you can tell by the mess that I don't have dust collection at the lathe. I honestly kind of prefer it that way because it gets in the way. But a good fan and an air filter do make a world of difference. That's 220. Get 300. We'll get 400. And now we'll get 600. Sanding stuff on the lathe with this drill method does not take long at all. It's a heck of a lot faster than doing it by hand, and it saves your fingers. This cuts down on the time to sand this stuff exponentially. Go ahead. This is 800 grit now, and this is just to kind of blend the scratches back in with the grain. It's not going to do much for it, but see, that's good. And we'll come back, get a clean rag, and get us some oil put on the handle. You don't have to, but when possible, try to take a dry part of your towel and buff the oil in some. It helps it get down into the grain a little bit better than just putting it on by hand and letting it go. All right, now we're going back with our Hut Triple P wax polish. And this helps us get that good water resistant top coat on it and really helps seal the wood. The good thing about these kits is the heads for the cups and spoons are actually removable. Alright, we got that done. That is one Padauk candle all ready to go. So I'll put it in a time lapse, knock out the other three, and show you how to put together the measuring spoons. Alright, I got all four of the handles turned, and this might seem a little unconventional, but I promise it's the best thing I have found to do this. These little brass bushings here, you can see have a little step on this edge. This end here is the side that gets pressed into the blank. So I did keep track of all of these. This end here is the side for the head. And this little piece of brass that we're going to press in is like a little threaded insert. And I would tell you the truth, something that would probably work better than what I'm doing would be to use an arbor press. Now I know you can use a pen press, but a pen press honestly does not have enough control over it to do this stuff. I do not like them. So we're going to find around about where we want. Actually, let me put the head on. This right here is the 1 tablespoon right here, and that simply threads on to the handle or into that brass insert. And I normally like to do this little finial right here on the end. You can see how it has that, it'll focus, has that through hole in it. That's for a little metal ring. So I'll turn that 90 degrees to the way the head is positioned. And that'll make more sense once you see this all complete. Get that lined up, pressed in, put the head back on. All right, so it has these rings here. They go through the handle just like that. And then there is a big ring that all of the measuring spoons go on. So this is what you end up with. So I'll leave this the regular speed, but I'll probably speed up the video. Put the last ring on. And get this one put on. The whole thing. And there we have it. Really nice, really pretty set of Padauk measuring spoons. We have 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, a half teaspoon, and a 1/4 teaspoon. I believe in total this took me roughly 45 minutes to turn, probably an hour if you want to include the drilling and everything. So for 4 measuring spoons or 4 measuring cups, they take about the same time. So these are also a pretty expensive turning kit from Penn State. So do what you will with that. They are expensive, but they are very pretty. So I'll catch y'all in a bit with some measuring cups. All right, I got a piece of Purple Heart on here. One thing I wanted to mention too, for these measuring cups, the little bushings for these are the same size on each end, so you can turn it whichever way. It doesn't matter. It'll work out both ways. I am going to do the same style handle as I did with the other ones though, so that's the only thing I wanted to mention. And yeah, I'll go ahead and turn one with you here, and then I'll put it back into a time lapse. And as you can tell, this Purple Heart is some really dense, really hard wood. Get this fan put on low. Switch over to the 1/2 inch. And that should have cleaned it up a little bit. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And again, we'll start off with the 180, 240, 300, 400, 600, and then hand sand with 800 with the grain. Again, this Purple Heart's extremely hard, so this stuff takes a little bit longer to sand, but it takes one heck of a polish. That was 240. This is 300. This will be 400. And this will be the final 600. Yeah, it's looking good. And like I said, the 800 just kind of helps blend the scratches back in with the grain, and any little stubborn pieces of grain that want to stick up, it'll help smooth those out and get those to lay nice. And that feels like glass. I mean, Purple Heart just polishes extremely nice. And then we'll get some of this actual polish on it. Again, Hut Triple P. And I should mention, we are at like 26, 27, 2800 RPM. For these, since they're so small, I do this at the same RPM the entire way through. Everything from the rough turning, the finish turning, sanding, oiling, and polishing right now is all done at the same speed. It just doesn't make sense to turn it back and forth. It's an extra step that you don't need to do. Alright, so that's this handle all done, and I'll put it into a time lapse, get the other 3 turned, and then show you putting one of them together, and then show you the whole complete set. Alright, we're back. Got a set of spoons and cups all done. This over here is Purple Heart. That right there is Padauk. You'll notice in the video I said that I was going to show you how to assemble these. It's the exact same process, except these you can't do backwards. On the measuring spoons, this end here with the heads is just a tiny bit bigger around than this end over here with the little finial on it. So that's the only difference. Both sets, one of the reasons why I like them is that you can take the head off of the handle. They just simply unthread on the cups and the spoons, and that way you can just throw these in the dishwasher and forget about it, and you don't have to worry about messing up your handle, and you don't have to mess with hand washing, because we all know nobody likes hand washing. So this has been a pretty long video. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I got a ton of other videos planned. I got more turning. Probably one of the next turning videos will either be my ring holders or salt and pepper shakers. And then in the next couple of weeks, the Delta Shaper restoration will happen. I just got to wait and get through this craft show so I can actually have some time to do some stuff I need to do. So I'll catch y'all in the next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what else y'all would like me to do. I'm open to suggestions. Thanks again. See y'all next time.